Did you know that the Russian army, one of the world's most powerful military forces, was initially formed by a merchant, Prince Dmitry Donskoy, in 1380? Yes, it's true. The foundation of this formidable force was laid by a man of commerce who rallied his people to stand against the Mongol yoke. Their first major test of might was the Battle of Kulikovo, where the Russian forces, though outnumbered, managed to claim victory. This marked the beginning of a new era, a turning point in Russian history. As we move forward to the 16th century, the Russian army underwent further expansion and development under the rule of Ivan the Terrible. He recognized the importance of a strong military in establishing and maintaining power, and thus invested heavily in its growth. Thus, from humble beginnings, the Russian army emerged, setting the stage for an epic military evolution. Fast forward to the 18th century, the Russian army underwent a significant transformation under the reign of Peter the Great. Peter the Great, a name synonymous with the modernization of Russia, brought with him a wave of changes that would forever transform the face of the Russian military. His reign marked the onset of a period that would see the Russian army evolve into a powerful and formidable force. At the heart of this transformation was the introduction of regular conscription. Prior to Peter's reign, the Russian army largely consisted of irregular troops and mercenaries. Peter changed this by implementing a system of regular conscription, thereby ensuring a steady supply of disciplined troops. This was a significant shift from the erstwhile practices and marked the beginning of a professional Russian army. Another cornerstone of Peter's military reforms was the development of a professional officer corps. Recognizing the importance of leadership and strategy in warfare, Peter introduced a merit-based officer corps. This move placed a premium on talent and skill rather than aristocratic birthright, fostering an environment where the most competent rose to positions of command. Peter's reforms weren't limited to personnel alone. He was a keen observer of modern military tactics and sought to incorporate them into the Russian army. Through his travels and interactions with European powers, Peter gained insights into the latest battlefield strategies. He understood the significance of mobility, the power of concentrated force, and the effectiveness of a well-orchestrated attack. These principles were ingrained into the Russian military doctrine, enhancing its combat effectiveness. Under Peter's reign, the Russian army also embraced modern weaponry. The increased use of artillery and firearms marked a departure from the traditional reliance on cold steel. This change in armament, coupled with Peter's tactical reforms, significantly amplified the army's firepower. Peter the Great's reforms catapulted the Russian army into the modern age, establishing it as a formidable force in Europe. These far-reaching changes laid the foundation for the Russian army as we know it today, setting the stage for its future exploits on the world stage. The 20th century saw the Russian army at the heart of some of the world's most significant conflicts, the World Wars and the Cold War. As the world was engulfed in the flames of the First World War, Russia was among the major players. The Russian army fought valiantly, proving itself to be a formidable force despite the country's internal turmoil and the subsequent October Revolution. The war, however, brought about significant changes, leading to the end of Tsarist Russia and the birth of the Soviet Union. Then came the Second World War, a conflict that was even more destructive and far-reaching. One of the key battles in this war was the Battle of Stalingrad. Here, the Russian army, despite being under-equipped and outnumbered, managed to hold off and eventually defeat the German forces. This victory marked a turning point in the war, significantly altering its course and showcasing the might of the Russian army. As the dust of the Second World War settled, a new kind of conflict emerged. The Cold War. This was not a traditional war with clear battle lines, but rather a war of ideologies, with the Soviet Union and the United States at its center. The Russian army, now part of the Soviet Union, found itself at the forefront of the arms race, contributing to the development of nuclear weapons. The Cold War was a time of intense competition and tension. The Russian army, along with the rest of the Soviet Union, was engaged in a constant show of strength with the United States. Each side sought to outdo the other, leading to advancements in military technology and strategy. This period saw the Russian army grow in strength and sophistication, evolving into a global superpower. The 20th century, laden with conflict, shaped the Russian army into a global superpower. Today, the Russian army remains a dominant military force, with cutting-edge technology and a vast array of weaponry at its disposal. Let's delve into the present state of the Russian army. At its core, the structure of the army is centered around military districts, each responsible for a specific geographic area. This efficient organization allows for quick mobilization and response to threats. Now, let's talk about the manpower. The Russian army boasts over 1 million active personnel, making it one of the world's largest standing armies. This includes not just ground forces, but also special forces, air force, and navy. Speaking of the Navy and Air Force, the Russian military's technological prowess is in full display here. Its Air Force is equipped with state-of-the-art fighter jets, bombers, and transport aircraft, while the Navy possesses a formidable fleet of submarines, surface ships, and naval aircraft. This combination of advanced technology and robust manpower allows the Russian army to project power far beyond its borders. However, the crowning jewel of the Russian military might is its nuclear arsenal. Russia possesses one of the world's largest collections of nuclear warheads, a fact that has played a significant role in shaping global power dynamics. The Russian army's influence isn't just felt on the battlefield. Its ongoing involvement in international conflicts, from the Middle East to Eastern Europe, has made it a key player in global politics. Through both direct military action and support for allied nations, Russia continues to shape the course of world events. But it's not just about the hard power. The Russian army also plays a significant role in humanitarian missions, disaster relief, and peacekeeping operations, showcasing the softer side of its military might. From its inception in the 14th century to its current state, the Russian army's journey has been one of constant evolution, shaping it into the formidable force that it is today.